gotta be against the law to look this damn good. Watch out now. Cause baby, I feel real good and I wish I would. Watch out now. It's gotta be against the law.
Wake up! Yep, it's that time again. Vape AM, brought to you by vapors1.com. I'm your host, Anthony Ramella. All right, guys, another Monday morning. Another weekend not long enough, but we all know how that goes. Just thought I would come to you this morning and bring you some more stuff, so here we go. Well, this morning, instead of doing history and birthdays, I decided to do something a little bit different. I'm going to do some shout-outs this morning. Those of you that watch a lot of YouTube, there are a ton of smaller channels out there that are doing vape advocacy, if I can talk this morning, vape news and things of that nature, but they are really, really hard to find because when you type in vape news into YouTube, you get a bunch of goofy guys doing tricks and reviews and stuff like that, but you don't actually get the news. So I'm going to do some shout outs this morning just to kind of help you guys find more news and advocacy. So first off, I'm going to shout out the NVR network. Those of you that don't know, I did a live show with them on Friday night at like midnight, actually midnight my time anyway. That show ran for about 3.5 hours, so I don't expect all of you to sit down and watch that entire episode because there is a lot of stuff in there. But if you aren't interested and you'd like to get kind of up to speed on some things that are going on and kind of hear my opinions about things outside of this show, it is a little bit longer. I have a little bit more time to kind of talk about these things. And I want to give a shout out to the Vaping Minuteman. He runs that network as well as with Juicing with Jen. All three of us were on the show that night and really felt like it was a good show. We got a lot of information out there. And some of the things had to do with some things that I was doing, and I found out that I do have a troll out there that's doing shows about me every day. I appreciate that because it gets the argument, it gets the conversation started. And if you're bringing some viewers to my channel so they can get the truth about vaping, I'm more than happy to continue with that. A couple more shout outs I'd like to do today. Also, that live show, I'm going to have the links in the description if you are interested with that. The Texas Cloud Town and Shane Oakley also do a show. Texas Cloud Town is doing kind of the similar show that I'm doing, except they're more based on like drippers and mech mods, but they also do a lot of news and advocacy. They have a lot of guests on the show. So if you have an opportunity to get over there and take a look at them as well. I am having Jen from NVR Network actually put together a list of some of these smaller news shows and advocacy shows that are on YouTube. I know for myself it's really hard to find these things and I'm really looking for them. So for those of you out there that don't have the time to search through YouTube to find these shows, I'm actually going to put a list together. I should have that for you here in the next couple of weeks. So just keep your eyes peeled for that. Okay, so let's get on with some other things we got going on today. Now, those of you that watched our live show on Friday, it was horrible. We had some real audio issues with that. Actually, it was not a bad show, just couldn't hear it. So unfortunately, that just kills it for me. So this coming Friday, we're still going to do the same thing. We're going to do another live show. We're going to, get these bugs tweaked and to be able to bring you a show that you can actually watch. So I do apologize for how crappy that show was. Not my norm, but that's how things go sometimes. All right, so let's get on some Wake and Vape news. I found out about this place from Grim Green. It's called Parents United for Flavors, or PUF. They have a Twitter account, and so I started following them on Twitter. And I'm really glad that I did because right away after I started following them, I found something that they had posted on there. Now, from the looks of it, it's a few months old, but as much research as I do on vape advocacy and vape news, I didn't see this. So I think it's important that something like this gets brought to light. So I'm going to bring it up for you guys today. And it is my only news story, so this won't be a real long video this morning. Basically, the name of this person is Carol McGruder. She is the co-chairwoman of the African American Tobacco Control Leadership Council. And she says that vaping causes deaths. Wow, I did not know that was the case, but she said, basically her quote was, well, since we all know that these products kill people, there has been absolutely no deaths associated with vaping that's used correctly. There are a couple of cases of some small children who had horrible parents who weren't either looking out for them or actually feeding this stuff to their kids. And this is really no different than feeding drain cleaner to your kid as far as I'm concerned. Being a parent of a 15-month or a baby, they don't really have, you can't really say that that's a kid, a youth vaping kind of situation there. They have no control over what's being fed to them. And in this particular situation, that looks almost like child endangerment more than it is a vaping issue. So I wanted to make that abundantly clear. So I'm just concerned about where this person's getting her information, because I know that this isn't really the case. I also added the link for that actual video on YouTube onto the end of this. You can go right over there and watch it. It's only like a 30-second video, but I swear she has set the record for how quickly I can get upset after watching a video. 30 seconds and I was really mad, because this is the kind of crappy propaganda that gets sent out to the masses from people that they trust. And people that aren't doing the research and don't really know what is all involved with electronic cigarettes are just taking, basically like telephone, like they told someone who told someone who told someone who told Carol that vaping kills people, which is an absolute bold-faced lie. Please do not believe that that is the case. This is a harm reduction product to help you get off of smoking, and it is up to 95%, even more possibly healthier than smoking. So don't believe that this kills people. It hasn't. There is no deaths, because if there was one, it would be on a billboard in Times Square. There have been no deaths associated with using e-liquid correctly, and I want to make sure that everybody understands that that's really the truth. We recently got some pushback on one of our recent commercials about telling truths about vaping as far as the health advantages to that. And I got a lot of comments and a lot of controversy about that. It's actually what ended up putting me on to that NVR network show, was that they wanted to make sure that I was informed that that was not allowed. We are very informed about what is going on with our advertising. We take a lot of time to make sure that we quote things exactly the way that they are quoted. And unfortunately, if someone wants to take us to court about this, I believe that it would start a discussion about this. We may be able to come up with some case law that's in our favor, because when there's stuff being spread out through YouTube like this, with this woman who is supposed to be an expert in her field, is telling us something that is absolutely a bald-faced lie, I want to be that guy, that martyr that stands out there and says, no, this is really the truth. This is what you really need to see. And the only reason they want to hide this from you is because they don't want you to get off of those nasty cigarettes, which we all know is definitely the thing that's killing people. We all know that. Half 500,000 people every year in the United States die from smoking-related issues. 0 people die from using e-liquids the proper way. So let's make sure that we are quoting this stuff correctly and we're not giving bad information out to people. All right. One last thing that I wanted to mention on this. Now, Ms. McGruder, she can spout unsubstantiated claims like this to scare people from making the switch to vaping. The one thing that concerns me is, I know this from other things that I've watched in other documentaries, that there is a lot of really nasty chemicals in hair straightening products. Those are things that can burn you, that can cause all kinds of problems. There's some of these products that even get banned, and I'm not saying that she uses these products, but if you watch the short little video, you can kind of make that decision on your own. But let's make sure that we are focusing our attention towards giving people the truth about this information, and we want them to stop smoking or you're gonna die. That's been the plan at Vape AM since the beginning, all right? Don't forget about the I Vape, I Vote shirts. Get over to vapers1.com, get a shirt, get a hoodie, stand together with everyone, and let's fight this, because we know it is definitely the best way to go. And while you're there, if you pick up a juice and some coils, it'll help me continue to keep doing this show, all right? Thank you guys so much for joining me today, and we will see you again tomorrow.